Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
The tree became very sad.
The tree became sad?
Well, yes, plants have feelings too.
So you made the tree sad.
Oh, I haven't seen his tree crying.
The whole purpose behind law is to right wrong. I want justice to be something that isn't this foreign concept.
Justice knows no boundaries. The truth will be heard. Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Bill Landers is suing his neighbor, Martha Talla, in the amount of $3,895. He says the defendant cut his tree without his permission and caused it to die. Ms. Talla claims she was within her rights to cut down the branches and is countersuing for the tree's damage to her drain.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
All parties have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas. Mr. Landers, you're suing your neighbor. Ms. Talla, you're suing your neighbor. Oh, we are not off to a good start here. And yet this case, let me get comfortable, because I have a family member who was also dealing with the exact same issue over a tree. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Landers. Tell me your story.
Well, obviously, Your Honor, I'm here because this crazy lady cut down my tree.
And what makes her so crazy?
Wow. I can give you a number of different examples if you'd like.
I'll take one.
Okay. We had a neighborhood watch meeting.
Yes.
She comes to the neighborhood watch meeting, and she complains that too many of the kids in the neighborhood are crossing her yard. So then she says she's going to put up a barbed wire fence.
Barbed wire.
Yeah, like a prison compound.
Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor, but I have the right.
Wait a minute. You want to put a barbed wire in front of your home?
I have to put a fence, using a barbed wire around my property because the kids coming to the lawn and messing up my lawn and
Your
the
lawn?
plants in it.
And so you
And
just
that's my right.
Well, why not just put a regular gate? Why does it have to be barbed wire?
Well, that's what I think. I feel good about it, and
You
it's
feel
much
good about
cheaper.
that?
It's much cheaper, Your Honor.
So you feel good about causing damage to someone who touches that barbed wire fence?
No, I don't think that would cause any damage to anybody.
Really?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, why do they think? What do you use barbed wire for?
In order to keep away those kids coming over to my lawn.
Deputy
They're
Thomas,
messing up my-
it's me. Am I missing something?
I was thinking it'd be electrified.
You know, I know. Why not? Why not just put an electric fence? And that way you really keep them off.
Oh, I don't think about electric fence. It's
But
just
barbed wire is clearly
Yes.
okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
I see. All right.
Thank God her husband was the one who won out on this. They got a picket fence instead.
Well, picket seems a little bit more appropriate. All right, so we got a picket fence, and that is an example for you of her mindset.
That's one example, yes.
Let's talk about the tree.
Okay. Basically what occurred was I've lived in this house for about 30 years.
Yes, sir.
The last 15 I've had her as my next door neighbor.
Okay.
I've had to live with this psychotic neighbor for 15 years.
Excuse me.
Now, you know this is not going to go well if you keep referring to her in a disparaging way,
Okay.
because I'm sure she doesn't think too highly of you.
Yeah, that's
and
my
now,
problem.
No, she does not.
what were you going to say, ma'am?
That's my problem with him. You know, I've known him for 15 years.
Yes.
But trust me, Your Honor, this man
Yes.
caused me and my family grief.
Why does he cause you so much grief?
I'll give you an example.
Give me an example.
Okay. I have noticed that he's been talking to my kids with silly jokes not appropriate for their age. They are ages 5 and 6.
Okay. You're telling 5 and 6-year-olds jokes?
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with the jokes. They're not inappropriate. They're not racy in any way. I mean, they're just little silly things to make them laugh.
Okay.
I enjoy children. They're fun.
All right.
For you, it's not, but for me as a parent, I know better.
Talk to
than
me.
you.
So you don't want him telling
Oh,
your
sorry.
5 and 6-year-old jokes?
Appropriate age jokes, fine, but what I heard from him is not appropriate for their age.
Got it.
I'm the mother concerned of the values I...
So this is so
Right.
you both have examples of why you don't care for the other. How does all this play out as it relates to the tree?
I planted the tree about 20 years ago.
Yes.
The reason I planted the tree was because I went through a very painful divorce. My ex-wife took the children and moved all the way across the country. So obviously, I was a bit depressed, quite a bit. So I decided to take up gardening and landscaping. That tree was the first thing I had ever planted, and it had incredible sentimental value to me.
And what was the sentimental value behind it?
Well, just the fact that it helped me to overcome my depression. It was a gorgeous tree.
Did you go on his property and take it from the stump?
No, I'm not the one who take out the stump. I just hired a company to cut it down.
There's a difference.
Yeah, she didn't cut it down herself. No.
Yes.
No, she didn't cut it down
So
herself.
you didn't physically do it,
No, I'm not the one.
but you made it a point to hire someone
Yes.
to kill the tree.
Yes.
Put
Because
the-
physically, obviously, I'm not able to do so.
I see. Would you acknowledge that the tree was, in fact, on her property line?
No, the tree was not on her property line.
Coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
The tree became very sad.
The tree became sad,
Well, yes, plants have feelings too.
so you made the tree sad.
Oh, I haven't seen his tree crying.
And later,
They were inappropriate to all of my friends. They were drinking our drinks. Like, this was
You
the
are on a
worst
roll
night
now.
ever.
I mean, it's just getting worse and worse the more you talk.
closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. We're back with the case of Bill Landers, who is suing Martha Talla for loss of property.
The branches are hanging on her side, and you see that, and you think she's crazy. Why wouldn't you just be proactive and cut the tree yourself so it wouldn't be a problem?
Well, I did, Your Honor,
especially
but-
if she's telling you, I am really getting tired of these leaves being in my gutters, on my lawn. Why wouldn't you be a good neighbor?
Well, in fact, I was having the tree trimmed twice a year, as I said. She would then take it upon herself. She actually trimmed the tree back even further.
And
on
when
her
she
own.
took it upon herself to trim the tree further, was that based on the fact that branches were on her side?
Right, but she also caused the
Stop.
tree to become
Stop.
sick.
You said you've been having the tree cut twice a year, but that you even acknowledged that branches were on her side.
Right.
So then twice a year wasn't cutting it. So why wouldn't you be proactive if you're dealing with a crazy neighbor to make sure after she's already complained, she has nothing else to complain about?
Well, because if you cut the tree back as far as she wanted us to cut it back, the tree would become sick and die, which in fact is what happened when she started cutting it herself.
The tree
in
became
fact, the tree
sick.
became sad, and it really upset me.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
The tree became very sad.
The tree became sad?
Well, yes, plants have feelings too.
Okay. So you made the tree sad.
Oh, I haven't seen his tree crying.
Touche.
Hey, her husband Brad knew all about how important that tree was to me, and he made a big
Okay.
point of it. And the other interesting thing
the
is
two
her
of you had a
husband.
conversation amongst each other?
Yes, we talked quite often. Me and her husband, we were fairly good friends, actually.
And
he
Did he have a problem
personally
with the tree?
had no problem with the tree. In fact, he on several times told me he was really happy that it kept the shade on his house and cut back on his electric bills during the summer.
so talk to me about Mr. Talla. Was that the conversation? Did he like having the tree?
I have told my husband about that, but since the two of them keep on talking with each other,
Did your husband have a problem with the tree?
he said he doesn't have a problem, but I have the problem. I'm the one who's gonna make decisions in the house. So that's why I cut it down.
So is that what this amount is for?
The amount I have is almost $4,000, Your Honor, and that's to remove. I've got
that.
a bill and a picture of the stump
And
right
you
here.
want him, in addition to cutting down this man's tree, you want him to pay you?
Yes, Your Honor, because it cost me
She's got some stuff too.
You want him to pay for the
$913.29.
cutting of to the stump?
Because it cost me for the drain repair as well as the labor cost. $913.29.
Is
to be
this
exact.
what it was reduced to? The tree?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that on the plasma.
I mean, I do realize, Your Honor, you thought I was using the wrong terminology when referring to this lady, but I was right.
Of course you're not.
And Mr. Talla, what did he say when you did this?
I'm the one who makes decisions in the house. So there's nothing he can say about it. Anyway, I'm the one who paid for it.
You're something else. Wow. So you had to remove the stump, and then did you plant a maple tree in its place?
We're planting another tree in its place. Yes, we did.
And the stump removal was $3,100?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Ms. Thaler, anything else? And you're saying, no, I don't owe you anything, but pay me for the drain repair and labor that was associated with all the leaves from the tree.
Yes.
Got it.
Because without his tree, I would not be paying that kind of cost. It would not cost me that much just to clean my lawn.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, Your Honor. You have sent a receipt in there.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, let me start with your counterclaim.
And
That's not going to happen. Not
it
up
cost
in
me
here.
$930.
That's not going to
Your
happen.
Honor.
Not today. Not up in here. As it relates to the $3,895 for Mr. Landers, you cannot go on someone else's property and destroy their personal property. He is entitled to be made whole. I will make him whole. The judgment will be in favor of the plaintiff. Had you even sued for emotional distress as a result of the tree, I would have given you that as well.
I also have
you, Your Honor.
emotional
You're
distress.
not talking. Because there is some emotional things going on. Judgment in favor of the plaintiff. That is the order. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $3,895. The defendant's counterclaim is denied.
I'm glad my neighbor had to pay, but I'm really sad that she's still my neighbor.
If he grows another tree, I'll cut it down.
Coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
I heard a really loud noise, and then I looked from my phone and I saw that these different pieces of wood were shattered and pretty much coming towards me.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Shayla Bourne is suing her cousin Raymond Sharp in the amount of $2,350. She says she damaged her hand while playing baseball with the defendant.
You're at a baseball game. You got hurt.
Yes.
You hurt your hand,
Yes, I did.
and you want him to pay you money now.
Yes, I do.
And so prove your case.
So on June 15th, I went to a baseball game to go see my cousin play.
Yes.
I'm busy working all the time, so I don't really get the chance to
What
go.
type of work do you do?
I'm a hairdresser.
Oh, okay. All right.
And so finally, I took the day off and finally went to his game and went to go see him. I tried to sit pretty close to the baseball diamond, so if I yelled out his name, he'd be able to hear me. So I happened to be taking a picture of myself. It was a beautiful day. So during that time, I heard a really loud noise, and then I looked from my phone and I saw that these different pieces of wood were shattered and pretty much coming towards me. And one of the pieces of wood ultimately hit my hand, and there was blood like everywhere. I pretty much tried to protect my face.
That was pretty scary because
It
you're
was
like,
definitely
I'm just at the
traumatizing.
baseball game taking a selfie. How am I all of a sudden with this bloody hand?
Yes.
And you were the one who hit that ball and broke that bat.
Yeah,
So you swinging hard, huh?
trying to.
What happened?
It was my turn to bat.
Yes.
Ball was coming. I swung as hard as I can and shattered the wooden bat. And
Yeah. And it was just an accident.
yeah, could happen to anybody.
All right. So the bottom line is, you had injuries. Can you prove that it was $2,350?
Yes,
Show me.
I have
Yes.
evidence.
What sort of evidence do
Yes,
you have?
just that.
Okay. So the evidence consists of what, Ms. Bourne?
Yes, it pretty much consists of my medical bills.
You had to go to the
and-
hospital. That looks pretty serious. And are you an actual stylist?
Yes.
So with you having your hand injured, did that impact your ability to do hair?
Yes. When I was rushed to the emergency room after the incident happened, ultimately I found out I wasn't going to be able to use my finger because it had broken for about 5 weeks.
Your finger, you broke your finger?
Yes, I broke my finger. The wood pretty much impacted my hand and broke my index finger.
All right, so you're not suing for your medical costs.
No, I'm not.
You're just suing for your lost wages.
Yes, yes,
And
I
so
am.
this document here is how long of a period of time would come up to the $2,350?
Yes, it's about 2 weeks worth of wages minus my booth rental.
Got it.
So what had happened was I called him, telling him about the situation, about how I wanted him to pay this money.
Yes.
And he offered me this deal where he could pretty much plan my birthday and have this big extravagant thing where I'll have unlimited bottle service and all of my friends will have VIP access.
There was no unlimited bottles
We'll
mentioned.
be treated like celebrities and have this amazing, most wonderful time ever.
She's
and
delusional.
that's definitely what did not happen.
No.
He lied to me. That's not the deal that was brought to me. It was horrible. It was definitely the worst birthday I've ever had.
Why was it so bad?
The service was awful. It took us, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes to even get into the club. We were supposed to be treated like celebrities and just brought right in. They were inappropriate to all of my friends. They were picking us up. They were drinking our drinks. Like, this was
You
the
are on a
worst
roll
night
now.
ever.
I mean, it's just getting worse and worse the more you talk.
Coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
You're saying you gave her everything
that we agreed to.
So, and this was all verbal.
Yes.
Closed captioning provided by. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. We're back with the case of Shayla Bourne, who is suing Raymond Sharp for lost wages.
She talked about bottle service. Talk to me about that. What was the understanding as to bottle service?
The words were not unlimited. I said you would have enough bottles to share amongst your friends and, well, probably a little bit more.
That is a lie.
And then so
said
this whole
unlimited.
VIP treatment, getting in early, did you do all those things?
Yes.
All right. So when you
Not
said,
true.
and you did all this basically to say, if I do this for you, I won't owe you anything.
Yes.
And you were
And she,
okay with that.
She agreed.
Pretty much he persuaded me and said that it was going to be the most amazing time ever, and everyone knows him around the neighborhood for being well known in the nightclub scene, so I was like, okay,
So
sure.
you trusted that he would deliver on what he told you?
Yes.
And at the same time, you knew that you wanted to be compensated, but if he weren't going to ultimately pay you any money, you were going to still be out of pocket, but you were okay with that. Is that what you're saying?
Ultimately, the agreement was that he was trying to compensate that and avoid all of the legal issues and to make a better experience for me despite this
And you
tragic
didn't
thing
get
that
that.
happened. And that's exactly
And you're
what
saying
didn't
you gave
happen.
her everything
That we agreed to.
So, and this was all verbal.
Yes.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. You're watching America's Court with Judge Ross. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, this is easy. The gavel has to come down in favor of the plaintiff. I wasn't up in the club, so I don't know if you actually delivered on what you promised. You will pay her $2,350. That is the order. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $2,350.
I definitely think he took advantage of me, but I'm glad I'm finally getting what I deserve.
I'm sorry she got hurt. It was a freak accident.
Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter.